Hi, Jennifer.
Good to see you, girl.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. If you're tuning in, some of you might have seen my face earlier if you were paying attention to the ANZA Gems. Oh, Melissa Quick just said hi. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
So, yeah, it's been a fun day so far, kind of listening to the presentations from a number of different responsible gem dealers for the Responsible Gem Boutique. So grateful to Susan Wheeler and the conference for kind of making space for us. We kind of go back a ways, don't we, Jennifer? So I think I interviewed you for the Contemporary Jewelry Design Group. I was the editor for a while. I was a blogger in my previous life, if people don't remember that or don't know. And I contacted you, and you were one of the first people I interviewed who really had this approach to jewelry making that was responsible, as ethical as possible, sustainable where you can be. And so it was really an eye-opening experience for me to kind of connect with you and ask you questions and kind of get a sense of your philosophy. And then when I started my gem company a few years later, you were just such a natural fit to approach about the gemstones, because I knew you would appreciate the transparency that our gemstones kind of have with their journey. So we go back a ways. What's new for you?
We do. I remember when you started your gem dealing business too, and it was such a beautiful puzzle piece that fit together, because it was all about, for me, traceability and knowing where the material was coming from, and knowing who was mining it. And your story was just absolutely perfect for it. And oh my gosh, and we've created so many incredible pieces together and amazing stories through it. So it's been a great experience.
I'm actually wearing one. This is an orange sapphire that was one of my first purchases, actually, in the Umba Valley. We'll be talking a little bit more about Tonga and Umba and Tanzania, since that's where our gemstones come from, primarily with ANZA and with Moyo. And this particular sapphire, you saw it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like a juicy grapefruit. It's kind of a color change too. So you created this beautiful, really gorgeous gold setting, beautiful bezel. I love that your handiwork is on it, and you can tell that Jennifer Dawes actually, put her mark literally on this piece. And beautiful, rose cut, pear shaped diamonds that have a little bit of a silkiness to them. So I
remember what I love so much about that sapphire is that it's got this haze to it, and it's almost like a star sapphire. Yeah. It's super cool. You get it at a certain angle and it's glows at you.
Bonus is that it actually matches my shirt today. I didn't actually technically plan that, but it is, it kind of goes with everything, actually. And then this was another.
It does. I mean, it's Monica Stevenson. You always.
Yeah. Well, exactly. So this was another really beautiful piece that you created. So it's actually set upside down, the sapphire. It has these incredible rutile needles in it, and it's kind of a steely blue-gray. And so with the platinum, this is in platinum with, again, this gorgeous hammered, Jennifer Dawes special finish, and then the little bit of diamonds, but in this beautiful east-west elongated. So we really had some fun with a couple of these kind of early pieces in collaboration.
And that one won a design award.
It did win a design award. One of several pieces that have won awards, actually. So we've had, it's been quite an adventure. It was probably about 5 years ago that I started to travel to East Africa after a documentary film kind of took me to the mining regions of Tanzania and Kenya. And I hatched this crazy business plan of I would travel, buy the gems, import them into the U.S. Usually as rough. So I usually buy things rough. This is an aqua rough. I know this is like your color palette too. And I buy them rough, have them cut in the U.S. And we'll be talking a little bit more about cutters actually, because that's kind of an important part of our story. And then when those gems are cut, we sell them to designers, retailers who really care about that provenance, who really care about that kind of shorter supply chain and that transparency. And then 10% goes back to initiatives in the regions where we buy the gems from. So education, community development, trade education, entrepreneurial kind of things. So we usually do that through Gem Legacy. It didn't exist a few years ago when I first started, but since then, the Gem Legacy has kind of grown into a really established 501c3, and so it's a great vehicle for the initiatives that we like to support there. So it's like a circle. We kind of reinvest and then hopefully raise the level of kind of what's happening there, raise the participants of the gem trade in East Africa, and then we go back and buy more and reinvest more. So hopefully a few years later, I feel like there's definitely some traction and some success. So I'm an overnight 5-year sensation, I like to say, but I think most people on this call can probably relate to that. So anyway, we've had a lot of fun. I love that you incorporate some of our gems into your work, and that we have these really physical examples of what comes out of collaboration. That's also part of our theme. The theme for the conference is to act collaboratively, and we've been doing that for a while. So
yeah,
appreciate you. I can't do what I do without someone on your side working with the gems and creating these beautiful pieces, and then continuing the story, because the story is intrinsically linked to every single gem. I have a whole bunch of gems laid out here, and every single one has a story, and it can't just stop with me. It has to actually continue on. So with you, and then like the Bob Goodmans and the Melissa Quicks of the world, where they're representing the finished piece to the consumer, and then have that story, that continuity kind of continue. So it's a pleasure to work with you.
Yay. Well, I heard a little rumor that you might have gotten a FedEx package about an hour ago, and there might be some stuff in there that nobody's ever seen yet. So
this is a package from Beth Steer. So I mentioned that we have everything cut in the US, which is a little unusual. So many gem dealers have things cut for cost reasons overseas. And I made a conscious decision early on in my business plan. I'm like, no, I really want to support artisans in the supply chain, including the cutters, including the designers, wherever I can. And Beth Steer is one of our cutters. In addition to supporting artisanal cutters, I have a special focus on supporting women in the supply chain whenever possible. For Beth, I was introduced to her through Roger Derry, who's a very wonderful gem cutter in Michigan, and actually kind of the impetus for a lot of my travels. And he introduced me to Beth several years ago, and it's been sort of like love at first sight and continued love. She has cut all of the Moyo gems hopefully you were able to attend the session earlier today, or you've heard of Moyo. Moyo is a very granular, traceable partnership with a few of us, including Stuart Poole, who's on this, who's actually in the chat here, and he was with me at 7:30 this morning. And Moyo is really an interesting, project, unique in the industry, and everything that ANZA represents through Moyo is cut by Beth. So drum roll.
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
And
so
it actually,
every Moyo gem you get, Beth is the premier cutter.
she is the cutter. So
that's so good to know. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, so she has cut pretty much almost everything that we have represented as faceted Moyo gems in the market. So now Stuart, the other Moyo, another Moyo partner who's on this call, he has everything cut in Sri Lanka and just added a couple of women cutters to his roster as well. So that's kind of an exciting development. So, but for us, for anything that you would buy through us as ANZA, they all are cut by Beth. So this is what's inside little gem papers. So it takes another moment to kind of reveal. There's kind of some bigger. You always love it when there's like a marbly feeling thing in the gem paper. So that's pretty. So some of these may be spoken for with we don't do a ton of custom cutting, but sometimes we will promise certain things to people right out of the envelope, and then if they work, great, and if they don't work, then we can probably find another home for them. So some of these may be spoken for.
Ooh, pretty. Is that a rubellite?
This is a garnet. This is a rhodolite, and
that's what I meant. Sorry.
That could be true too. It could be a rubellite, but this is really gorgeous. The whole top is faceted. I don't have enough information in front of me to know for sure who the miner is, but this is actually a Moyo gem. So this means that this traces back to an individual miner. So since they're brand new, I don't have all of that. I have to look up a very complicated spreadsheet to kind of map it back to the miner, but that's kind of
this is like a sneak peek because you wouldn't have pricing or anything right now. So
nope, this is
maybe we just whip through them.
Don't tell anyone. So
I know. Well, maybe we just whip through these and then we go into the known pieces that you want to sell today.
Ooh, all right. This is an aquamarine.
Is that like a Jubilee cut kind of?
This is like a diamond cut round. So we actually had a request for pretty lighter, very say translucent, transparent gems in a round diamond cut. So we Beth takes that and runs with it, and so these are a few of these are going to be kind of for that purpose. This is really lovely. This is like almost like a lavender,
like an orchid.
Yeah, and this is actually zircon, I think.
Stop it. Like what carat do you think that is?
This is, I remember reading from the sheet or the invoice that it's, I think it's like a carat, a little over a carat. So like a carat 60 or something like that. So
I would go with my outfit today.
It would. Here you go. Here, I'll just hand it over and then you you do that. So Beth is
really 2.16 carats. Thank you, Megan.
Oh, see, this is anyone who knows me knows that I can't do anything without me. Like, thank goodness for Megan. Like that's all we can say.
We're still working on the cloning for Megan.
Yeah.
Megan.
If that works out, I'll let you know, because there's actually a list of people who are looking for a Megan. And Stuart, I've seen you actually give her an offer like while in my presence. And I'm like, dude, you can't do that. But, that's kind of, she knows she knows that she's in high demand. So this is another aquamarine. I wish I could get the.
Oh, that one's really pretty.
Isn't that pretty? So
yeah,
this one's
let's see the culet side.
The profile here. Let me see if I can.
How tall is it? There you go.
So
Okay.
So again, it's kind of diamond cut, so kind of diamond proportions. Yeah, Stuart, I know. I saw you. I heard you actually do that.
You have been called out, Stuart.
Stuart, but it's a good thing you're a really nice guy, because that, and hopefully, but it's good incentive for me to keep Megan happy. So she has a little leverage now. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is so cute. This is a rose cut moonstone.
Oh.
So it has a beautiful milky blue, adular essence, but then with the little rose cut facets. So that's super fun, and it's a flat back. So you could set it kind of the same way that you would set a cabochon, but with a little extra dimensionality. So, Melissa Quick is dropping links to our like good pictures of our collab into the chat. So
yeah. Is this the bracelet?
Oh, maybe that's it. That was a particularly incredible.
Yep, that's the bracelet.
Okay.
Yeah. That was I was gonna say, so you have done special cuts for us.
Have done.
That's a great example of a special cut.
That is true. So you can kind of see an example of a true collaboration from the rough. The customer chose the rough, then we had it cut, and then Jennifer custom made that bracelet. This is a tanzanite zoisite, unheated, because we don't heat anything at ANZA. And this is an emerald cut. Again, it may be spoken for, but it's really, really gorgeous, like really beautiful. So we let our cutters kind of decide what they want to do. I mean, we may request like, hey, we have a call for rounds, or hey, we have a call for emerald cuts or something, but usually, oh, wow. Okay, this is gorgeous. And this will show up well, I think, even on this dark gray Seattle day.
Oh, is that a Gosular Garnet?
I believe it is.
Mm.
That is really, really pretty. It's hard to get it. Lots of hearts for that one. So that was.
I made a ring for you with something really similar to that, with tanzanite melee on the sides of it.
And I think that's still Megan's favorite ring that you've ever like made, for us, with us. So yeah, that was a really special project. So yeah, so that's kind of what we just got. So this is my any day that I get a package from my cutters, particularly Beth, I'm like, that is a good day. Like, I really appreciate, we do a lot of work, frankly, behind the scenes. We do a lot of work with spreadsheets to track and trace everything and process all this rough. But when I get the finished pieces back and I get to see the sparkle and I get to kind of see what it turns into, it's really makes it
kind of magic, right?
Kind of all worth it, right? Like, it's probably you when you're kind of like doing the final polish, and then you kind of stick it in the ultrasonic and you steam it and you see what it's become. Like, that's got to be so incredible, such an incredible feeling. So we, the days that we get the packages are good, very, very good days. So thank you, Beth. Thank you.
Beautiful work, Beth. That's so gorgeous.
In terms of connecting with us on things like this that we have that are brand new, we do a really good job with our line sheets. And when I say we, it's the royal Megan does an amazing job with our line sheets. And so that's the way we kind of communicate a lot with our clients, like you and other designers. We'll send you line sheets, and then you get a sense of like what's available, what the color palette is, and the kind of the breadth and spectrum of what we have. Sometimes people will call with like a specific need, and we can answer pretty quickly, yes or no. We can send you videos, we can send you photos. So it's a very collaborative process when it comes to actually choosing gems. It was fun hearing about Eric earlier, because they do such breadth. They do so many things. They do so many different regions, and that means there's more varieties and colors and cuts. And we're pretty focused at ANZA. We are very focused on East Africa, Tanzania, and Kenya specifically. For the Moyo, it gets even more specific. It's one particular region of northern Tanzania. It's called Tanga, Tanga, and we buy from miners who are members of the Tanzania Women Miners Association. So it gets very, very specific. But the wonderful thing is, even though it's this one region, there's a lot of variety actually that comes out of the ground. Even just with our Moyo project, I'm amazed at the variance of colors and the variety, the beauty, the vividness. Here's I had fun pulling a little bit of rough out for show and tell. And again, lighting is kind of hard, and the
I like the cleavage shot. Can you go up a little bit? Sorry. No,
oh my gosh. You almost made me drop the stones. So you're so bad. Oh my gosh, this is recorded. People are going to see this.
You always look good.
Oh, thank you. So this is Sapphire rough. This is, again, the light may not be awesome, but it's all of these. This is just Sapphire, and this is what comes out of the ground in this one particular region, the Umba Valley of Tanga, Tanzania. So it's kind of crazy. It's like pink and yellow and purple.
Color just changed too when you just brought it to the light.
Yeah, so it's it actually it really needs the light. Wait, can you see? Like you can see the colors when you actually shine the light through them. That's how it kind of reveals like what it might actually turn into with faceting. Look at this one. It's like, speaking of orchid, it's like deep orchid purple. So this is the kind of variety that comes even from this one region. So I feel very fortunate that we, have access to the gems and the people who work so hard to actually pull them from the ground. Like that one handful might represent weeks and months of work and hard, backbreaking, difficult, challenging work. And 80 to 90% of our colored gemstone supply comes from people, digging holes in the ground and finding gems. So versus big mechanized open pit, that's not really where.
Christina Villegas did a video of the women actually what they're doing, and it's like they're in a pit, they're digging, they're like throwing the dirt up into sieves, they're sieving it, they're cleaning it. It's just such an intense, but it's so cool watching these women work together. It's so cool.
That was an interesting post because we got a lot of comments about the dust, and people were very concerned about them and about the dust. And here's my thought on this, and I posted something to this effect that, that is a problem, and we have to work on that. But it's not so simple as just dropping off dust masks to the women and having them expected to wear them. Now, you'll see in those videos, they're actually wearing safety vests and hard hats, but they're working in a very shallow open mine. Like they're throwing rocks around, so it's a good idea to protect your head. But the dust mask is actually something that could make a material impact on their life. And we have to educate them that it's something that they need to do and need to wear. If we were to ask them, what is your biggest challenge? Dust mask would not be number 3 or number 10 or number 50 probably on their list of what they're concerned about. They're concerned about feeding their children. And this mine is a vehicle for them to actually provide for their families, pay their school fees. And honestly, they're preoccupied with making sure their children have a better chance life, than they do. So it was that particular video was very instrumental, I think, in showing the realities of this is what we're doing. So my challenge to everyone else is, do you know, like, what the dust is definitely a problem, but do you know the circumstances that your gems are mined in? I would say most people don't have any idea where their gems come from. Many people, even gem dealers. I even got this question from gem dealers. I'm like, are you going back into your supply chain and asking the questions of who is mining these and under what conditions? Because that was actually a pretty great example of an artisanal mine. It can have child labor, there can be forced labor, there can be incredibly dangerous conditions.
I love that idea of just asking, what are your top 10 biggest concerns? You know, because the first place that I went to with the whole dust mask thing is, how hot is it there? And is it going to impede them with their physical activity of mining? So
yeah, that's another good point. And actually, if we ask them to wear steel-toed boots, many of them are used to climbing in and out of these mines with like sandals on, because that's what gives them traction. That's what gives them the sensitivity to kind of be able to kind of, you know, go down in the mine and come back out. Now, if they had access to steel-toed boots and they had education about that, they might choose to actually do that. But we have to listen. We have to act on what we, you know, not what we think are their challenges, but what are their actual challenges and how do we help them. So that's kind of what's interesting about ANZA and about Moyo is when we go, even for ANZA, which you know, I haven't been able to go for a year and a half to East Africa, but a lot of our time is spent. I can buy the gems that I need to buy in about 3 or 4 hours, but I'll spend days there because we travel and we go to the mine sites and we like to talk to people, shake their hands and find out, you know, what is their challenge. And those challenges can change from, you know, from trip to trip, from month to month. And COVID's been really hard for people there. There's been no buyers. And so that leads to less financial security, maybe even food insecurity. So we've been trying as much as we can to kind of infuse the regions with purchasing when we can, where we can, but also with maybe just aid. You know, they might just need food, they might need some basics. So just trying to keep our supply chain, you know, let them know that we care, we're still here, we will come back. We've sent them little video clips through our partners there so that they know we're thinking about them. So, oh, speaking of mine visits, like while we're traveling, there's something about this little pair of zircons that I just absolutely, oh, another cleavage shot.
No, I love it. Keep going.
So I don't know if you can see these, but they're a little match pair, and they're pretty small. They're not super big. They're probably like for my finger for scale. They're maybe 3/4 of a carat or so each, I think, 60, 70 points.
Like 5 millimeter.
Yeah, but that's probably good. Oh, yeah. Look at you.
It matches your shirt. You should be wearing those as earrings.
I know. Like these need to be earrings. They really do. So we ended up touring Singida, the Singida region. Trouble, Melissa says. Yeah, we are trouble. My nickname is Instigator, so just so you know. But we went to this mining region.
Don't stop, but whatever.
What's that? Oh, that's true. Stop? Yeah, that may take longer than we have to explain here. But so
oh my God, that looks so good with your hair and your shirt.
They are really pretty. Yeah. They're super bright, vivid. They're almost like a yellow zircon. So again, unheated. We buy everything. We choose not to treat anything. So we would buy those. Oh, we only have.
You need to start showing some gemstones because we only have 5 minutes left.
Okay. So anyway, those zircons are super fun. They are special because we spent the whole day touring zircon mines in Singida, Tanzania. Then we ended up in this guy's office and we bought a couple of these gems and they turned into a match pair. So it's things like that. Like I can tell the story probably behind almost everything. Megan's dropping links in the chat. I wanted to share a couple more things for sure before we are done. This is
closer.
This is a pink garnet. This is a Kenyan pink garnet. And this is, the reason this is special is that this is a new cutter for us. Also, a woman also from the Michigan area. Her name is Marie and of ANZA Gems. And we tried a few gems with her this year and just received them back not too long ago, and are really, really happy with how those turned out as well. So we have a whole beautiful palette of gems from her. They are the bottom row of this tray, which is kind of a crazy tray.
Whoa, you have not shown us that tray.
Yeah, it's officially ridiculous. So all of the gems on the bottom row were cut by Marie, and then the others are kind of a range of different cutters. Beth, some are Peter Taraka in New York. This is actually cut in Kenya. This is a gorgeous blue sapphire, really beautiful, 5 carat, really substantial Kenyan sapphire. So just kind of that kind of shows a little bit of our palette.
What's the bottom left? The orange. What is that?
This one is ginger garnet, and I have to say it is spectacular. We bought some the last trip that we were able to make in 2019, and the way that this was cut is really gorgeous. Again, it's like this fall palette. It's like it would work well with what I'm wearing today, right? But it's really beautiful. It has a richness to it, not quite the Fanta stone this is what they call spessartine garnet in East Africa. They call it Fanta stone, but it is really rich and beautiful and kind of almost like a peachy orange on that one. So, and then one more thing before we get like cut off or anything, but is we actually, there's a few really, really beautiful, fun, these are all ANZA gems here that we actually have special pricing for, just sort of out of gratitude for the Chicago conference. Megan has those. She has prepared, I think, maybe a special sheet with special pricing, and she'll drop that in the chat. And if you mention the Chicago conference or contact us about something, we can share these just kind of special pricing. We can't always do that. Because of, we're wholesale, like our margins are not giant, right? So, and then we do a percentage back. We do 10% for ANZA, and we do actually 18% to Moyo. And so we don't have a huge margin that we can just like arbitrarily start marking things, crazy prices down. But we did think that those gems are kind of special, and we would like to kind of give a little gift of probably 15% or more on those guys. So you're welcome to contact us. And here, I'll put my email in the chat in case people don't have it. But we do have, Megan has dropped in things that you can actually directly shop from. So again, couldn't do this without her. So
I wanted to talk about your cutters. So I love that you're using women cutters too. So you were saying that Marie is one of the newest.
She's one of our newest cutters. We use a handful of U.S. artisanal cutters. There's maybe 145 in the entire country that are, kind of registered lapidaries that are cutting kind of at this artisanal level. So women represent a really, really tiny percentage. There's not a ton. And if you're diligent on Instagram, you can kind of unearth these really talented, incredible women cutters. And again, we just like to support them when we can. They happen to be really skilled and really incredible, so that makes it easy to support them, and easy to work with. All of them believe in our mission. We literally could not do what we do with Moya without Beth. She has been really instrumental in our success and in our journey. So we're really, really grateful.
Well, it's such an amazing story. And it was great because Melissa Quick, when we did that bracelet, she did a beautiful blog post on the whole story around it. The women who mine the stones, to you finding the stones, to Beth cutting the stones, special cut, and then me making the piece. And it went to a really special woman too, who came to our trunk show and loved, found the story.
And met the miners. We had a contingent of miners from Tawoma, from the Tanzania Women Miners Association, and she got to meet them that day, which just makes the story even more kind of full circle and special. So it was a really special project, and I feel like that is at the heart of what we can do as an industry. It's not just the sparkle. It's not just a certain carat weight or a certain intrinsic value. There are real people behind, and this is where all of us, I think, here are probably relentless in our telling these stories, because there are real people behind all of these incredible, beautiful objects that we either find, make, create. And so the idea that jewelry can mean so much more than just the sparkle, but you can actually tell these stories. That's kind of why we're all here, I think.
It makes me really, really proud to be able to trace it all the way back and to make this connection and these networks with people. We made this incredible spider web network of women. And it's like that bracelet's going to be cherished for generations. She's going to bring that down through her family line. And it's so amazing to be able to be a part of that.
And it's so great to be a part of this and to see you, but I think we're going to get
kicked off.
They're going to actually axe us in a second. So anyway, thank you all. Love you all. And we'll see you again soon.
Yeah. Thanks
on Saturday when I'm speaking again. So thanks. Bye.